Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about loving yourself first. Stay tuned. I'm Emily Goldthwait. I'm an author, an energy healer, and I help people have powerful self-awareness, deep self-compassion, and expanded understanding. So back in the day, in my college days, I was very Christian, and in Christianity, they have the 10 commandments that are rules that everyone's supposed to live by. And the second commandment is love thy neighbor as thyself. Now, I always honed in on that love thy neighbor part. Like, that's super important. You always love your neighbor. You're always kind to people, all these things. And I almost didn't even notice the as thyself part of this commandment. And then one day, I was in prayer and meditation, and I had a particular girl in my life that kept kind of popping up and surfacing that I just couldn't stand. She was very socially awkward. She didn't have a solid social group. She just kind of drifted around and inserted herself places. And I really struggled with not feeling, I struggled with feeling frustrated about her, and I struggled to not dislike her. She grated on me, and I always felt like awkward and embarrassed around her, and not wanting her around. And I felt a lot of guilt and shame about that. So this day I went in prayer and meditation to God, and I was like, I need your help. I'm a terrible person. I do not like this girl. I can't even tell you why. I don't know why, but she just bugs me. And of all people, she's probably one that I should especially love because, she's kind of a social outcast. And what do I do? How do I fix this problem? Why don't I like her? And please forgive me for not liking her, and help me to see what I can do. So as I approached God in prayer and in meditation and pondering about this, and I sat outside in a quiet spot, I expected to get a scolding. I expected to have him be like, yeah, Emily, you're totally crap. That's why you don't like her. You're like a terrible person, and you're totally fake, and like all this stuff. And what I didn't realize was that was actually my own negative thoughts about myself going on that I was predicting God was going to be saying to me. So I went in prayer, like a little nervous, ready for a scolding. And as I sat quietly and pondered and meditated, this very clear message came to me and just like flooded my whole being. And it was to the effect of saying, Emily, you cannot love or accept in somebody else what you hate and despise in yourself. And I was like, well, what is in her that I despise in myself? I don't understand. And suddenly, like in my mind, it was like this flip chart of like all these awkward moments that I'd had with her, and all these times where I was like, oh, like that's so embarrassing embarrassing for her that she did this, and all these moments where she wasn't picking up on social cues and all these things. And then suddenly it flipped to my own life, my own childhood, and clear into my adolescence. All of these times of feeling socially awkward and like a social outcast, and like not sure if I understood social cues or if I was navigating correctly. All the times I felt rejected or left out, or like I had been a total fool, an idiot, and a fool of myself, and all of these moments where I felt completely unacceptable socially and otherwise. And suddenly I realized and could see that every time I was around this girl, her way of being reminded me of this like exaggerated version of how I saw myself, and that I couldn't stand being around her because it made me feel like I was that, and that I had such a hard time with that part of myself, and that time in my life was a really hard time. And so being around her was unbearable because I had to face myself when I was around her, and I didn't like that part of myself. So then after this dawning kind of came on me, the words to that commandment came back, but just the last part. And it was like in bold caps, as thyself. And I realized that was the key to the whole thing. Whether you're Christian or just a great person, like the key to loving other people is to love yourself first, because you cannot love, forgive, or accept in somebody else the things you do not love about yourself, the things you cannot accept and haven't faced about yourself, and things that you haven't forgiven yourself for, that you feel guilt or shame or embarrassment about. It is almost impossible to be able to accept, love, and forgive those things in somebody else when we view ourselves that way. Because the outside world is really just a mirror reflection of what's inside of you. So you love yourself first, and then it will reflect outside of you. So that's it for today. I hope you found that helpful. If you did, shoot on down there and give it a like or subscribe to my channel, or both, because every week I'm going to be putting out more content like this to help people like you have light, love, and joy in your journey. Take care.